you probably hate school more than the average person. You probably hate it so much, and you've clicked on this video, and I want to explain something to you how you can enjoy it more. See, I remember the other day, I was literally in the shower and I was thinking about how fun it was that one time I was in the back of my class with a bunch of my good friends, and my friend, he like answered a question and this other guy told him the wrong answer, and he like confidently said the answer in front of the whole class. And everybody just started cracking up because it was the entirely wrong answer. And I remember I actually had such a good time in my old school because I was there from kindergarten to year nine or year eight or to year nine. And the interesting thing is, bro, the reason that me being there for such a long time made me enjoy this school, it was a really nerdy, like pretty bad school to be at. Like if you didn't have good friends. But the thing is, over that time, I built good friendships. Just like because I was there for a long time, not because I was going too far in my own life at that point. But that was the special thing to me, was just having the boys that you would laugh with, all those memories, and like the guys that I'm still friends with now. Whereas at my school, at this moment, I started to make more friends. Like I have a few friends who we sit in the back and we like laugh, and I'll have some good memories when I leave my school. But for the first year or so, I hardly had any friends who like actually were funny people. You know, you probably have that one friend in your classes and you sit down, but they're just playing like Snake IO or some stupid game on their laptop and they don't speak to you. And then after school, you like go play a sport you don't like, and during recess and lunch, you like just go to the library and just like watch YouTube or something. I'm gonna speak about like lunch times and like recess and a little bit later in this video, but I genuinely think the most important part about school is having some good friends and enjoying that experience. I'm gonna get into more stuff later, but first I want to introduce myself. I'm Finn. I help young guys make really good friends. I think it's the most important thing out there. And I do have a course with like an in-depth method on how I did this, but don't even worry about buying something from me until you like started to trust me. If you can check it out, but the link's in the description if you're interested. I remember I was really bad at basketball, and every now and then, most of the time I was playing basketball at lunch, but everybody would just laugh at me because I was so bad. And I remember I like did a little bit of practice outside of school, and then when I would I took like 2 or 3 weeks, and then when I was playing with the boys in school, I was like getting a few jump shots in, and I was like a little bit more coordinated. Because some backstory, I was born with the worst coordination, the worst athleticism anybody's ever had ever. Like I've seen so many physios about it from a young age and stuff. But like that's part of my story. That's why one of the reasons I struggled socially a lot. And I want to keep like emphasizing, I took this time out of out of school. I went and played basketball by myself, got a bit better at it. And then when I was back in school, now I could go hang out with the boys at lunch, at recess, playing basketball, and I wouldn't feel so ashamed of myself for being so bad. You probably have this sport at your school where everyone goes and plays it in recess and lunch. Put a bit of time into like getting a little bit better at it, especially if you're like not good at it. This is for people who aren't good at sports mainly. But if you're like not good at sports, bro, genuinely reckon, like especially the lunchtime sport that everyone's playing, or like the game, or if it's like, even if it's, what's it called? Handball. Just spend some time on it and get like a little bit better, because it just makes life so much more enjoyable. Like it was the most embarrassing thing when I was the worst basketball player in the entire group. Moving on though. I remember this time where I had basically just moved from the school that I went to from kindergarten to a new school. I was only there for like a really short period of time. This was after I'd built a lot of friendships outside of school in the same city, so I could go and hang out with those guys outside of school all the time. And then the same thing happened when I moved to this school. I couldn't really like play basketball and play soccer with everyone because I was so embarrassed of how bad I was. Like this school, it wasn't a super athletic school or anything. It's just that my athleticism was so bad. And I didn't like go and play basketball and soccer with all the boys. I would kind of just like eat and go to the library and do my own thing. And you see, the thing is, even though I like didn't really do much at school, outside of school, it was like a fully different story because I would get like the majority of my homework done during school. I just didn't really get much homework, to be honest. And then I'm gonna like expand on this in a second. And then after school, I would like completely wipe the idea of school out of my mind. See, the interesting thing is, this was like genuinely one of the most enjoyable periods for a while where I left school, and after I left school, I would go box or I would go lift weights. This was when I first started getting in the gym. And I had a few friends at the gym. And then, of course, like the guy that I was training with at the boxing gym, it wasn't like a big gym, but the coach was like kind of a good friend of mine. So we would talk. And then I remember one little thing I used to be really close with like three or four girls. And guys don't really do this the same as girls, but every night at like 7 or 8, I'd get on a call for like 2 hours with just like one of my chick friends. And most of it was platonic, to be honest. And so, look, this is a completely side point, bro. If you do that, it's so fucking easy to talk to other people. If you're on the phone for 1 to 2 hours every night, you just learn how to speak so much better. Yeah, bro. Like if you become good friends with a girl and you like she starts calling you, she probably likes you first of all, but second of all, if she doesn't like you, there's nothing wrong with that. Like having a girl like a female friend, especially at a young age, it's like the most unfair advantage. But I don't usually tell people that because it's like I want to be the only one with the unfair advantage, you know. But anyways, my social life outside of school was good. I was going out on the weekends and then I was training on the weekdays. Like every Saturday, pretty much I would go out. There would be something on for me because I'd already built my social life before that. Which, if you want more help, like building your social life, because I know it's such a hard thing to like do to kind of pull off, then click the link in the description because my course speaks about that specifically. But the main point of this story is my life was super good outside of school. At school, I was like just getting by. But the stupid thing is, I was just playing like Snake during class. I was just like fucking around for no reason. I could have just studied harder in class and then left school and then have the best life outside of school. You can do all your homework in your like free period, or you can stay at school for like an extra half an hour, do all of your homework, and then go home and you've got like the entire night off. And then you have the weekend off as well because you've like studied so hard. But I didn't really do that. The thing is, my grades weren't terrible. I don't know exactly why they weren't terrible. There's many reasons you could point it to. But for me, like I was doing all right in school at that time. And the thing is, my life was at one of its best. So the point that I wanted to make to you right now is that go to school and then get all your schoolwork. Like you shouldn't be going home thinking about, oh, I have all this schoolwork. All these dickheads in year 6, bro, my teachers were like, yeah, you gotta spend an hour and a half on homework every night. I was in a smart school, and the thing that I saw, none of them did an hour and a half of homework, bro. Like a few of them would have a tutor here and there, but they would be getting straight A pluses, these kids. A lot of kids were just like getting by on B's, B pluses, A's by just like doing the homework on the bus on the way to school. Or they would just at like the start. I remember this memory. Every every week we had like a double physics block the first thing on Wednesday morning, and a few guys we would like never do the homework. And so I remember turning up to physics class, and this day I learned like the funniest tactic ever, bro. My teacher would like check the homework one by one and walk around. He would go like super slow. And I saw my friend just like speed running, copying down the homework on the guy on my right. So I'm like, okay, well, this guy can just speed run his homework. He does no work outside of school. And then he just like does some practice tests and like works really hard a few days before the test. So he can have a good life outside of school. But I can't. I'm like, what the hell? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna use his strategy. I just started copying down too, bro. And it's like a thrill against the clock before the teacher comes around. You gotta like write everything down. You see, bro, there's so many tactics. Like it shouldn't be taking you an hour and a half to do your homework. I mean, if you're in like your final year of school, you want to do like really, really well. I mean, for me in like the VC, nothing matters before year 12. So I get it if you're in like year 12 now and you're like trying to lock in and you are doing quite a bit of work. The one thing that I would recommend to you though is try to have like genuinely, I wish that I did this better. Like if I was a bit more disciplined with myself throughout the year, I would have probably been getting way better grades. But I wish that I would, like when I was doing this strategy, I was getting really good grades. I wish that I would do my work inside of school and then during my free period do as much work as possible. No YouTube, work super hard. Even during lunches, go to the library. Because then that way, like if you don't have much of a social life in school, then you might as well just get like your work done. That's all right. You know, you're being productive. And then you, like if you don't have friends outside of school, you need friends outside of school. You need some kind of social life. So you can like work on that, start going to gym, and like over time you'll meet people if you're not worried about school constantly and you're trying to study the whole weekend. But trust me, bro, try and get all your work done during the day and then like maybe stay at school for an hour in the library. And then once you're home, it should be like no work is done because that allows you to be like, you have this such an insane level of mental peace, number one. Number two, you do so much better. I swear, you'd be so surprised. I don't follow this enough, bro, but when I did follow it, it was like I was putting in just a school's day of work, but I was getting solid grades, like B pluses and stuff, just because I was working productively during the day instead of like trying to go home and do 4 hours of homework. Thank you for watching this video, bro. I really hope it helps. Remember, I've got a course if you're interested. Thank you for watching this video, bro.